It's a pleasure to be here today with David Hughes. David and I have just started working together to major on the agri-business sector in the UK and internationally under the Redfox brand. David, you're very well known in the sector, but I expect some people would like to have a little bit of a better understanding as to your background to date and how you got into farming in the first place.
I'm a farmer's son, Max. Yeah,
Okay.
So that's the. Always had an interest in the industry. Obviously, through that, the farm wasn't big enough for me to take over when I left university, so I entered the banking industry and then worked my way through that into the agricultural sector with TSB and most recently with Clydesdale. I've been in banking, agricultural banking now for 20, 30 years, I guess. Okay. So it's a lifetime, I suppose.
And the banking sector within agriculture, it's an economist's delight to see all the changes and the machinations that have gone on in the last 20, 25 years. So you must have seen some incredible things in that respect, in being the high days and the low days of the sector.
Oh yes, you've seen the glory days of the arable side with sort of the fruit industry obviously getting the grubbing grant, the pig industry going through different problems, but all in all the sector has improved, and at the moment I think we're in a very good perspective time, both within the UK and globally as well.
And why do you think that is, David?
Well, we all read about the increase in global population, and I think perhaps more importantly the changing economic situations with the changing diet. The Eastern Southeast Asia diet is being westernised, so there's more demand for meat products, etc.
Okay. But that's one concern that we've got as a business, that every agribusiness that we talk to, they all have the same requirement, people, but there's such a shortage of individuals within the agribusiness sector, and we feel it's because the sector wasn't deemed to be attractive to go into over the last 10, 15 years in the respect of a university, a college perception. So now we've got this real oddity of this lost generation, that we're not seeing the younger generation coming through. And as we both know, because we talked about it at length, the average age of the UK agronomist is 55, and the average age of the UK farmer, I think, is in the high 50s. What do you think is the solution? How can UK agriculture and international agriculture solve that issue, that dilemma?
I think it's a very difficult one, and I think the reasons are all there. And I think one of the other reasons is that we haven't made the industry attractive perhaps for people who aren't farmers' sons or got grandfather or aunt or someone who's involved in the farming side. So I think we need to try and attract those non-farming background people, and we are doing that, aren't we now? I think there's a lot of promotion for that, and the universities and colleges, and there's only a handful as we know, specialise in the agriculture within the UK. They're improving their courses and making them more attractive for non-farming people, and we can help as well by getting involved with young farmers clubs and young people's movements, etc., etc.
But that's what I find very frustrating, having a number of my peers who will sit on a train for 20, 30 hours a day into London and out of London doing jobs that they don't enjoy, whilst I know other individuals who work very hard but in a fantastic environment, being farming or the related sectors. And if there was some way of sort of sprinkling that magic dust onto other individuals so that they knew what they could do, what they could achieve within agriculture, I think it'd be hugely beneficial. And I agree with you. I think we're getting there, and the media perception is getting a lot better, more attractive towards the sector, whether that be programs like Country File or people getting more interested in what they eat. But I still think we're a long way there. Hence this issue that we've got then when clients come to us and they're just stating they can't find the people. They can't find the people. Max, David, Redfox, what's the solution? So it'd be very interesting to see with your huge network of contacts and your reputation as to what we can do for these clients to source them the people that they're looking for.
Yeah, you're right, Max. There's a dearth of these people out there. I think we have a job in promoting the future as well, and going to see people within the industry, but also sourcing these people through my contacts. I know a lot of people, and I think I'll have a better way of doing it than perhaps some other people.
I agree, because if you look at your consultancy service that you offered in the banking sector, that we've got a very similar consultancy basis on the way that we operate on our recruitment projects. So that's why I'm very excited in that respect. Who do you think would be the best sort of agribusiness companies for you to have a long-term relationship, a partnership relationship with, for you to source them their key staff?
Well, initially, I think we should look at the agricultural supply industry, and by that I mean perhaps the arable input people. Also, you could look at the veterinary industry as well, because that's a significant part of the supply chain, as well as the professional side on the agricultural consultant side, because I know a lot of people in that area.
Yep.
And I think I would be able to help businesses sort of fulfil roles there.
And David, what sort of level of placement of individuals do you think, again with your network, that you would be able to source for these potential clients?
I think we've got to look at board level, Max. I think we should be looking at the finance directors, CEO type areas, business development type focus type people at sort of the higher echelons of salary rather than the anywhere else, I think. Yep. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that's a good idea?
I think so as well, because that's where we as a business, we've worked very successfully in other aligned sectors, the likes of the fresh sectors in the UK and internationally, that we've always had a very good reputation for sourcing CEOs and MDs, commercial directors of the ilk. And it's where we're best attuned. Again, we talked about it earlier about the consultancy advice that we give. That it's fascinating when we present a shortlist to a client, where we can talk through the individuals, because CVs I find can be very one-dimensional, can be very monosyllabic. And if you can actually describe to a client what this individual has done to date, what they potentially can achieve in the future, and how they'll be able to do that for their company, and for it to be a long-term benefit for the company, it still surprises me how beneficial that is to clients, and especially so when those individuals get into place and you see them accelerate their career within that business, but also you see that business accelerate because of the right individual coming in place. I
think that's the most important bit. You're seeing both elements in reality improving their position in the company, in its competitiveness in that particular sector, in individual sector that it's in, and also the individual themselves. Yeah. I think the consultancy part is the bit of the whole combination of me with Redfox is the bit that excites me, because, as you say, it's similar to the type of role I've undertaken for the last 30 odd years with agricultural businesses, albeit from a slightly different perspective. Yeah.
So David, thank you very much for your time today. We'll be in contact with you directly, either through our marketing means, or if you look at the link on this website, you'll be able to get in contact with David, and perhaps make contact with him again if you haven't had contact with David for a number of years. But we look forward to working with you successfully and finding you the top people for your business to take your businesses further forward. David, thank you very much.
Thank you, Max.